Hi children, welcome to the digital classes about 3-dimensional shapes and their nets. Already we are habituated to use 3-dimensional shapes in various places or various kinds of 3D shapes, correct? Okay. So, now you want to learn about a 3D shape and its properties, you have to understand the net shape of 3D, am I correct? Today we are going to learn various kinds of 3-dimensional shapes and their nets. Okay. Then before going to know about the net, what is net? That is a very important. The net of a shape is what it looks like when it is opened out flat. Now, we are seeing so many 3-dimensional shapes. For example, the first one is cube, you can see the net shape below it, a triangular prism, a square based pyramid, like you are seeing. The very important thing is, did you know that some of the shapes have more than one net? Can you find different nets of a cube? So, we will see all those things. Now, you are observing various kinds of 3-dimensional objects. One is a cylinder, generally we are using Coke bottle, drink bottles, no? That is in the shape of cylinder. And we are observing another one is an electrical cell, which is in the shape of cylinder, correct? And another one is tomato soup container, it is also in the shape of cylinder. Now, it is a dustbin, also in the cylinder shape. And you know that to play snake and ladder, we are using dice, there we are using a dice, it is in the shape of cube. Now, you are observing that cube. Another one, combination of cubes also forms another cube, generally the children will play this to make all the colors at one face, am I correct? Okay. These are the different kinds of 3-dimensional shapes. Before going to learn about 3D shapes and their nets, what are the objectives after the class, what you are expecting, what is the outcome you are expecting. So, we will learn it as an objective. Let us see the first objective, visualization of 3-dimensional shapes by their nets. So, we can visualize the 3-dimensional shape when they opened in the flat surface, those are called nets, you know that. What kind of net it is? When you see one net, you are able to identify which kind of 3-dimensional shape it is, or when a 3-dimensional shape is opened, so what kind of net will form? So, that is a very important. So, you should have a correlation between a 3-dimensional shapes and their nets. So, if you observe one net, you are able to visualize a 3-dimensional shape, that is one of the important objective of this lesson. Now, we will see the second one. It develops the 3-dimensional shapes by understanding their nets. So, the children can, not only children, anyone can understand the 3-dimensional shape nets. If they understand, they can develop the construction or making of 3-dimensional shapes, correct? So, preparation of 3-dimensional shape is very important, because it is a part of a toy making, a model making, am I correct? So, when the children have this kind of conceptual knowledge, definitely the children can prepare various kinds of the things which are in the form of or in the shape of 3-dimensional. Now, we will see the third objective of this. It develops the skill of preparation of toys. So, just now I said most of the toys are in 3-dimensional, am I correct? So, children, you are observing different kinds of toys. There are combination of various kinds of 3-dimensional shapes. Some are the combination of hemisphere, cylinder and hemisphere, or some of the combination of hemisphere, cone, am I correct? Like there are so many kinds of combinations of it. So, first you have to learn about the property of 3-dimension. How you are going to learn the properties of 3-dimension? By observing their faces. How you get to observe the faces of the 3-dimensional shapes? By opening it, which comes as a form of net, am I correct? So, this is one of the important objective of this lesson. Now, we will see the next one. It develops the skills of preparation of models like kaleidoscope, pinhole camera, like. Okay, children, in physics, generally you are using different kinds of models to perform activity to exhibit the models, am I correct? So, if you want to see, especially in the optics chapter, which is concerned with the light, there is some models we are using, that is called kaleidoscope, pinhole camera, already you are practicing those things. You can prepare the pinhole camera or kaleidoscope, whatever it may be, which is in the form of 3-dimensional. So, when you know the nature, what combination of 3-dimensional shapes they are, if the children is able to identify, then they can prepare these models. Before going to identify what kind of combination is required, means they have to understand the net shapes. This is the importance of this lesson. Okay, now we will check it one by one. So, which kind of 3-dimensional shape it is and what kind of net it is by 3 different kinds of nets, how we are going to correlate with the 3-dimension, all these things we will learn in this session. Okay, now see. The important way of this is one way to understand the structure of solid shapes is to look at their fold outs, which are plane shapes showing how they are constructed. For example, by looking at the fold out of a regular tetrahedron, we can see that it has 4 equilateral triangles as it faces. A cube has 6 squares as it faces. A regular octahedron has 8 equilateral triangles as it faces, and so on. By cutting the edges of a cardboard box, we can open it up and get a first shape, which is the fold out of the box. Now, you just if you open one cube or the object which is in the cube shape, then what kind of things you observe? It has 6 faces, all the 6 faces open, then what kind of that? Those are squares. Am I correct? Like we will observe one by one. So, when you open it, when you fold out those faces, what kind of shapes those are and how they are forms the 3-dimensional shapes. And one more, to draw a 3D diagram of a solid shape, we usually use dotted lines to show the sides which are hidden and solid lines to show the visible parts. This is the most important, because we can't visualize all the sides, all the edges, all the vertices, because we are observing on a 2-dimensional plane. So, we can't draw a 3-dimensional object on a 2-dimensional plane. Am I correct? To represent it, generally we will use isometric dot paper. In general, in a 2-dimensional plane paper, generally what we will have to do, we will observe the solid faces with the lines and the remaining with the dotted lines, which are not possible to see, which is invisible. Am I correct? So, this is a very important property of it. Now, we will see by resembling a fold out of a solid figure and joining its edges, we can get a model of the figure. This is a very important. So, as the edges, when you join it, finally you will get the required 3-dimensional shape. So, you can open it and make it into net diagram, that is very important. When you close it, if you want to make it a 3-dimensional, that is very important. How you are going to open it, how you are going to close it. These are the 2 important things you are going to learn in this area. What shape is this? Can you assume this shape? Maybe do not know. Am I correct? Because it is nothing but 6 faces which is in shape of squares, correct? Now, you can, when you close all these faces, a cube form, it is a cube. Previously, it is difficult to identify whether it is what shape it is, because the previous one is a nest diagram of the cube. Now, what shape is this? Maybe you are unable to predict SS, am I correct? It is a cone. The previous one is the net diagram of the cone, correct? Then how you are going to open and visualize this cone in the form of net diagram? Let us see. Okay, now just observe the cone, we are going to cut it out, we are fold out and make it into net diagram. So, here I am using a GeoGebra concept. So, how the net diagram will be formed by using this cone. Now, see. So, first one is the base will be opened, correct. Then when you cut it into vertically, then it is open like a sector. Now, observe it and finally, it comes in the shape. Now, observe it once again, when you fold it, it is like. So, like you can observe the things, now observe it clearly. So, it is closing now, am I correct? So, how it is open, see it. So, first the base is open, then we draw a vertical line and it opens like, and finally, we are getting the shape which is in the form of a sector. Okay. This is the net diagram of anything. So, we very simple, if you take a circular shape, when you cut it in sector shape, when you fold it out, a cone will form. So, cone generally you are using to even different kinds of things to make a birthday cap or joker cap, that is in the shape of cone, am I correct? So, if you want to prepare it, how you are going to prepare? It is easy to prepare, just take a circular part and take a sector part and fold it. Just now I performed and exhibited, definitely you can prepare it, am I correct? So, here the top one is the circular. So, it is a complete one. So, why you showed this? If you want to know the total surface area of this, definitely you have to consider the top, otherwise no need, simply it is a sector part, clear? Okay. Now, we will see another. Now, see what shape is this? Can you assume it? It is a cuboid. Here we have 6 faces. Those are all in the same shape? No. Some are in rectangular shape and some in square shape. Am I correct or not? And it is not necessary that some should be in a square shape and some should be rectangular shape, because you know that every square is a rectangle, but every rectangle need not to be square. That is the reason I use these words. So, children, just now we are going to observe the net diagram of cuboid. Just now we discussed that a cuboid has 6 faces, already you observed, am I correct? Now, we will see how when you open the nets will comes, clear? Okay, see this. So, here a cuboid and the net shape is also given, we will check it whether it is in the comes in the same shape or not. Now, see how it is open. So, the top view is open gradually, okay. Of course, side also are going to open, okay. Now, you are observing all the 6 faces, okay. They are in a rectangular shape. Now, observe it. So, then simply they are coming one by one and finally, it reaches the shape as adjacent to it. Now, once again I am showing these things when you close it. Now, see this. So, the sides are first, then the second, of course, the bottom will be bended, okay. Then gradually all comes together to form a cuboid, correct. Now, observe it. So, once again see with the opening of this, all the sides, of course, faces here, all the 6 faces are opening gradually and very similar to the adjacent net diagram. Now, when you close it gradually, now see this is a very important, because once you are going to prepare a 3-dimensional figure which is in the shape of cuboid, you have to understand how to open and how to close. When you open, you will get a net diagram. When it is in the shape of nets, how to close it, that is most important, okay. Now, we will see, children, maybe you understand very well. Now, come to the next one. What shape is this? Can you identify it? Which one in the shape of this? Maybe assume it the top and bottom should be in a circular path or circular shape. The middle one is in the shape of a rectangle. Okay, maybe prediction maybe is a difficult, correct? Okay, we will say it. It is a cylinder, correct. Now, just observe that the top and bottoms are in the circular shape and the middle one it is a curved path. When you open it, it forms as a rectangle. Maybe you get some confusion. It is in a curved shape, but when it is open, it is in a rectangular shape. How it is? Okay, let us check with Geogebra. Now, I am going to use this. Geogebra is a very important tool, you know that. Mostly you can use it for so many geometrical constructions and other things, 3D graphs and all these things. Okay. Now, I am observing this, just this is a shape. Now, when you cut it in a vertically, gradually it is opening, am I correct? Of course, and top and bottom circular paths are gradually opening, and if you see that it becomes as a a rectangular shape, and of course, top and bottom which are the circular shape on it. Now, if you want to see that how it is closed, when you see it, just it is a closing of the net shape, and gradually the rectangular shape is converted into curved shape, and the top and bottoms which are circulars, they come up and top and bottom, and finally it is a cylinder. Now, see once again when you are cut it into vertically, how it opens, see it. So, gradually it is converted the curved surface into rectangular shape. Just now I said the which is invisible or invisible simply. So, can be represented with the dotted lines, and the solid shapes are represented with the darker lines. This is very important. When you are going to draw the net diagram of anything, you have to follow this instruction. So, like you can see, you can move it in all directions, we can view that in different directions. So, like we can view the cylinder. Cylinder is a part of so many 3-dimensional shapes. So, better to have a clear idea when you see in all angles on all faces, definitely like you can zoom it and you can turn it and up and down. So, you can turn it into side, then you can view the total sides of the cylinder. Of course, cylinder have no sides, is side view only. So, that is the reason you have a curved surface. Okay. Children, now we will see the next one. Of course, it is a part of a 3-dimensional, and now what shape is this? Can you identify this? Okay. It is hexagonal prism. Hexagonal prism, correct? Okay. Now, we will go for the next one. What shape is this? Can you identify it? It is a pyramid, correct? It is a pyramid. Now, we will see the pyramid, how it is opens and forms a net diagram. Okay. Now, we will see the shape how it opens. Now, it is very clear, see it very clear. So, it like a triangles 1, 2, 3 and 4 triangles. Okay. If it is a regular pyramid, it is a 4 equilateral triangles. Okay. When you observe it, when you open, like at the bottom you have a square, correct? See it, it is very clear, very clear. So, it has a combination of 4 equilateral triangles, and if the base is in the form of a square, definitely it is a regular pyramid. Okay. So, it is very similar to like a star, am I correct? Not exactly. So, it seems to be like a star, that is a very important. So, you can see the dotted lines represent this so which is invisible, okay, which is called edges, am I correct? Those are edges. So, when you open it, then actual solid shapes are you are going to see, that is a plane shapes which is in the form of equilateral triangle. Okay. So, like you can understand the shape of a pyramid which is in the form of net, represent the net diagram of a pyramid, correct. So, now you are observing so many things. One is already you observed the pyramid, you observe the cuboid, you observe the cylinder, you observe the cone. So, it is not possible to explain all and 3-dimensional shapes in the same class, am I correct? For that reason, I am leaving you to rest of the solid shapes and draw the net diagram. How you are going to draw the net diagrams? Just open it, identify what kind of plane surfaces those are, then draw the diagrams, clear? Okay. Teacher has to take a care about this, how they are going to draw the net diagrams. You have to assist the children. Okay. Just now I said there are so many kinds of net shapes for one 3-dimensional shape, am I correct? Now, see this figure. So, what shape is this? You have how many faces here? 6 faces, correct? 6 faces means it is very clear, you can say whether it is a cuboid or cube. If all are squares, then it is a cube. Some are rectangles, some are squares, then you can say a cuboid, very important. If all 6 faces are in the form of squares, then it is a cube, and some are rectangles, it is a cuboid. It is very, very important, children. So, you have to carefully observe this difference between a cube and cuboid, correct. Okay. Now, when you see this, it is a cube, correct. So, there are so many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 like. We can give it different shapes when you arrange it like. Okay. How you are going to open, that is very important. If the projection, the way of projection, that is very important, clear. Okay. Now, come to the next one. What shape is this? So, you can observe when you close it, it forms a pentagonal prism. So, it is a pentagonal prism, you know that. Try for one more. What shape is this? When you fold it, imagine if all the 3 triangular forms are closed, then what kind of the figure will form? It is a tetrahedron, am I correct? So, like you can prepare so many kind of 3-dimensional shapes. At the same time, when you open it, you can draw the net diagrams of different kinds of 3-dimensional shapes. Okay. Now, I am asking one more. What shape is this? It is very similar to what you learned previously, correct? Okay. Now, we will check it. It is a triangular prism. So, why we call it as a triangular prism means here see the base on either sides is in the form of triangle. So, simply we call it as a triangular prism. Okay. So, now what shape is this? Just observe. It is hexagonal prism, correct? Okay. So, like we have so many 3-dimensional shapes, we have to collect all the 3-dimensional shapes and open it and draw the Venn diagrams. At the same time, and collect different kinds of net diagrams and close it, what kind of 3-dimensional figures will form. This is a very important activity in the classroom. Once the children understand the net shapes of 3-dimensional, definitely the children can do so many questions which are going to be asked in the chapter of surface areas and volumes of 3-dimensional shapes. This is a very important thing, correct. And not only answering the questions, they can prepare the 3-dimensional shapes, they can prepare the toys, they can prepare the models of required science equipments, or not only science equipments, even in mathematics. Just now I said the kaleidoscope and pinhole camera, like so many things are there, the children can prepare these models. Once they have a hands-on experience, definitely they can understand the concepts, clear. Now, we will see. The very important thing is it is like a recapitulation. I am giving some things to practice in the classroom after this session, and after that class also try it. The first one is draw the net shape of pyramid. I am suggesting few of them, and the teacher has to take some more. Finally, the children has to perform all these things. A second one is some 3D shapes have more than one net, find out and draw those nets. Just now I show that different net diagrams of cube. So, like some other maybe have the same more than 2 net shapes. So, you have to find out it first and then draw those nets. This is one more thing I am going to suggest to you. Here I gave 2 figures, correct, 2 net diagrams. You have to identify the above nets, and which is you are observing now, and what kind of 3D shapes represented by those 2 shapes or net diagrams. So, just now I suggested 3 things to you to identify the net shapes and the 3D shapes, or you are going to find the relation between net shape and 3D shapes, and you are going to draw the net shapes. These are the things essential for this lesson, clear. So, try to do it, and definitely you can understand the properties of the 3D shapes. The net diagram is a very important thing. So, now already I showed that one of the software technique, that is a Geogebra software. By using the software, most of the schools have computers. The children can use this Geogebra and find different kinds of net shapes, and they can make net shape to 3D shapes and 3D shapes to